Hello, my name is Ryan Pollastro. I'm a decorative artist in Los Angeles. I've suffered from mental illness since I was a child. I even was in an institution when I was 17 years old. I'm currently on a drug regimen of psychotropics that would probably put Keith Richards in a coma. And in 2015, after my father passed away, I was in a really bad way. I could barely get out of bed. And an artist friend of mine, Nina Burkhart, told me about a place downtown where she was renting a space called Art Share. And she invited me to come down, check it out. She wanted help with one of her pieces. And I happened to get lucky. There was a space opened up. It was a Halloween weekend, and nobody was going to take the place, and people are out of town. And I happened to be at the right place at the right time. So I immediately moved in on November 1st. And she suggested the place because she knew I was in a bad way, and she knew it would help my mental state if I started doing canvas work. I usually do decorative painting, but to be creative, maybe get my mind off my father's passing. And within a week or so of being here, there'd be this gentleman that would walk through the studio and do his history of downtown. He'd talk about art space. It was like a parade of people where he described downtown art district. Short in stature, shock of white hair, and he would do his tour, but he would walk right past me. He wouldn't say anything, kind of maybe a grunt or two, this and that. And I called my friend Nina. I'm like, I'm here to help my mental health and this and that, but this dude, he doesn't seem to like me. I don't know what I've done. He's making me feel worse. I don't know who this guy is. Come to find out, I was constructing these boxes for my pieces, and I would use this material called Bondo. You guys might know it. It's this polyester stuff that smells really bad. And eventually Terry would mumble under his breath, it smells like a surfboard shop in here. And I'm like, okay, I'm a surfer. At some point, he didn't walk past me, or I said something, I said, hey man, I'm a surfer, and I'm a surfer too, and this and that. And come to find out that he didn't like the smell of the Bondo because it reminded him of surfing. He was old at this point. He didn't have the best of health. And some of his fondest memories were in Santa Monica when he lived there at a younger age, and that's where I live now and lived back then 7 years ago. And so it actually became a connective thing with us, the surfing, the art, and he was my buddy. I would be back there, working on decorative painting or whatever abstract weirdness at the time, and he'd come and sit down and we'd discuss surfing, painting, girls, of course. It's Terry, and I was thinking, after he had passed, that I had spent more time with Terry Ellsworth than any other human on earth during that time. He was my friend. And the funny thing is when I first started coming here, it was for my mental health. And ironically, I told you that Terry was a bit of a grump in the beginning, but then he came around to be one of my best buddies. And shortly before he passed away, he said the biggest compliment that I've ever received in my life, and that was, Ryan, out of all my friends, if I could trade places with any of them, it would be you. Just because I made a living doing painting, and I was a surfer in his favorite place in California, and I think he was sort of somewhat living vicariously through me, if I could be so bold to say. So my point is that I came here for mental health, and he gave me one of the greatest compliments of my life, and I'll never forget it. This is one of the last things Terry ever gave me before he passed on. Everybody knows Terry was a bit of a pack rat. You'd find stuff in the trash, say, hey, Ryan, you want this? Maybe. But this is one of the last things he gave me. As you can see, there's two waves, and I like to think that that's Terry and I. But love you, buddy. Miss you.